going to do a quick refresher before we dive in further, especially if you missed the earlier video where I unpacked all this in more detail. So, in Pareto's system, human behavior is mostly made up of non logical actions. That doesn't mean irrational in the crazy sense, it just means people's actions that aren't based on a tight chain of reasoning from premise to conclusion. Like when people get heated over the footy, or vote for someone because they feel right, or buy crystals to bad vibes, if I'm going to be honest, it's something I do. Well, and then you've also got logical actions. Logical actions are where the reasoning actually matches the outcome, like solving a maths problem or fixing a leaking tap. But those are rare in human history. Pareto reckons most of the stuff we think is logical really isn't. It's just logic based on after the fact, a post hoc rationalization. That's where residues and derivations come in. Residues are the deep, gut level drives, emotional instincts, stuff like the need to belong, dominate, build, tear down, help people, or feel important. These are basic drives which are the raw fuel for action. Derivations are the post hoc explanations we slap on it. They're the pretty sounding rationalizations like, I oppose this policy on moral grounds, when really it's just that it threatens your tribe or your ego or your banking account. And the real fun part, instrumentalization. This is when those noble sounding derivations get used strategically, not just to explain behavior, but to sell it, to justify it, to win support, or to silence critics. And we do have to keep in mind that most often when derivations are being instrumentalized, the person using it 90% of the time is a sincere believer in their own bullshit. Elites do this constantly. They'll frame a power grab as a moral duty. Regular people do it too. Like, I'm not yelling at my neighbour because I'm petty. I'm doing it because they violated my rights. So to sum it up, most human behaviour is non-logical, driven by residues, then justified with derivations. And derivations can be weaponised, turned into tools to manipulate perception. Pareto's not saying people never act logically, just that logic tends to be confined to specific domains, like in maths, engineering, or science. We're often dealing with logical actions. There's a clear goal and method. But outside that, especially in social settings, politics, relationships, it's actually pretty rare. We think we're being rational, but most of the time we're just running off vibes and then writing the script afterwards. Anyway, that's the framework. Residues, derivations, instrumentalization, and the dominance of non-logical actions over logical. I already covered this more deeply in another video, but it's worth keeping in mind because once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere.